this morning we've just loaded the skid steer onto the car trailer because we made a silly boo-boo the other day. We've been using the smaller trailer which we can transport the skid steer on. I zoomed off to the quarry all excited to get another ton of gravel and sand, but we needed to use the skid steer at our son's house where he's preparing for a swimming pool. So prior to me getting all my gravel, we took the skid steer to our son's house in the trailer. I carried on to the quarry, and yeah, the skid steer was stuck here. So the car trailers had to come out, but that's a good thing for me because that means I get my tractor back home, because I need to empty Tyson's stable and it's easier keep loading it into my back bucket on the tractor. Right then, back up the plot and it's concrete day again. Well, you saw us this morning putting the skid steer on. It's now this afternoon. We've come back because it was a bit too wet and boggy when we first came up this morning. So we've allowed the sun to dry out the plot a little bit. And we're going to tackle getting this other bit of cement done this afternoon. So hopefully all's well. And we've got Floki and Freya. They're dressed as safety sausages. The grass is a bit long, so we keep losing them, and especially with Ian trotting around on the mini skid, we don't want to squash them.
I had one comment about putting a bit of extra rebar on this step section. Although this is all going to be, you know, reinforced with blocks and everything else, I thought it was quite a good idea. And my son had a little bit of this cage left over, so I nicked it from him, and I've just put it around that rebar, so that should be pretty strong.
Blocks of wood.
They're all just
Oh,
there.
they're all there still.
Cold wind.
Not surprised the amount of snow over there. Tourmalaye's covered.
We got the first mix on the go. Even though the sun's out, it's quite a cold wind.
Oh, it's bitter cold.
Quite a good mix.
Oh, that's a nice one. Getting good.
No, not all the way to the... Yeah, the concrete, yeah. You need to pull that back a bit, the cage.
This way?
Yeah. Not too much, but just away from the wood. That's it.
One empty trailer again, and then it's that dreaded time cleaning everything. Cement mixer cleaned, Ian busy cleaning the skid steer.
Oh, it's so muddy. I don't want to get it all dried in there and in the garage.
Yeah, oh, it was really clogged up with mud. Our free water in our water tank doing its job.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Yeah, we definitely have plenty. Get them all nice and clean. We haven't made too much mess coming up and down, given this morning when we came, this was so soggy with all the runoff rain. Let's take it around so you can see. And this is where what we did the other day. And then today's efforts, all done, all filled. Ian's just waiting for it to cure a little bit, and then he'll go over the top again. But yeah, I've not done too bad today, and the sun's out, which is going to be a very rare commodity over the next few days. We're in for some really low temperatures. I forgot to count how many cement mixer falls we did today, but out of everything that we've done, that's the last little bit, tiny bit left over. We've done brilliant today with our calculations. There he is, still cleaning. And the safety sausage is taking it easy. Afternoon siesta. One not so happy, stinky little Floki sausage dog. Oh my goodness, you stink, Floki. I don't know what you've rolled in, but Mummy's not happy.
Good morning. We are back on site. Didn't rain at all last night. Set off okay. Looks alright. I'm going to leave those forms on for now. I'm going to take the other forms from what we did the other day. I'm going to take those off this morning and see what it all looks like. Meanwhile, I've got to get an airline all set up. I took all of that off when I did the internal cladding in the inside of the garage. So I need to put up my airline, get my compressor running, because when I drill out for the rebar, so just here, I want to put in an airline and blow out any dust or anything. So I'm just going to put that in a minute. Okay, where do I start? I'll do the easy ones, I think. All the rebar mounts. Julie is getting in a bit of a mess with the pink string.
I rolled it all up so neat, and yeah, I just made a mess for myself. I've detangled one of 5.
Right, this is the mount for the air hose. I did have it up here before I put these side panels on, so I'm just going to mount it in the same place. And behind this, where these screw bolts are, is a 100mm steel beam across here. So I'm just going to put the first one in. Not so tight, and then I can get him all plumbed up. This air hose isn't too heavy, so it should be fine. I know I've got to drag it around, but now that just sits on the top. That goes through a hole somewhere. There we go, that should sit nicely in the corner. It's only a diddy one, but what it does mean, I need to get a socket up towards here, so I do need to put in my conduit along this wall. Alright. Well, I thought just before I left tonight I'd try and put in the conduit along this wall, but I'm about 1.5 meters short. So I'll get some of that. At least I know now how much I need, so I'll go down the store probably at the end of the week and get some more of that. And but meanwhile, for the compressor, I'll just run an extension cord and that'll be fine. But I've used up all my white conduit now, so I'm going to have sockets all the way around the garage. Right, we are back home now, so we will see you in the morning and we'll carry on with those wall foundations. See you tomorrow.
Hi there, it's the next day. We had a massive downpour last night and luckily the sun's out today, so it's not too boggy up here. It's dried out quite well. So the plan is we're going to try and mark out on our footings where it's all dried to start drilling in to put rebar. So Ian's going along at the moment, just measuring up and marking out where the rebar's going. So that's our next job.
This is sort of the center of the footing. I'm doing it 20 centimeters in, which is the center of the block. So we'll have 10 centimeters of footing showing here, and then the block itself, and that's 10 centimeters on that side as well. And then just below the footing, because it is raised, we're going to have two drain tubes, French drains. We're going to put two down this side because it's taken a lot of water off the driveway there, and I want to get rid of that water as quickly as possible down the rest of the field.
These little dogs, they're just so cheeky and nosy.
Are you going to take the snap line? Yeah, take it to the other end.
Nah.
Come on, off you get.
They're not well trained.
Come on then, grab this sign.
Okie pokey.
Frokes out.
Frankie, you can have a blue stripe. Silly
See
dog.
it?
Yeah. And it's definitely still boggy. So does that represent the middle of the block?
Yeah, yeah, it's the middle. Because that's where we're going to drill the rebar.
Yeah.
And then this, that should also be the middle of that block. So that is there. Yeah, that's square. So that's what we'll go from. So it goes off a little bit here, probably because of these string lines are a bit wonky when we did it, but it's still within tolerance, I'm hoping. But as you can see, my line down there, that's where I've got to start drilling in rebar. There's no point in laying out just one row of these blocks and then marking them off, because when you do stagger them, the holes then become offset. So it's just to get an idea of where I've got to drill for these rebar holes. So the corner's easy, it's just straight down. But then if I hop over to the next one, I've got a bar in the way. So I've got to offset that by, so it's 1/4 of the way in instead of half of the way in, and then carry on like that. So once I get the first ones going, then it'll all level up, because this next one will then just sit on top there. Right, let's mark these off and I'll get the drilling starting.
Ian's just gone along marking every 24 centimetres, and that's so we know where the centre of our blocks are ready for drilling. I remembered just all done.
That's some tough concrete.
First piece of rebar. Oh, just a test.
Yeah. Well, we've got all the holes blown out now, most of it down my ear roll, but they're 12mm holes and it's 10mm rebar, and that gives me a couple of mil for the chemical, the 2-part chemical cement that we're going to squeeze down in there now. First of all though, we need to figure out the height of the rebar and the height of the wall. I've got a good idea, but I'm just going to put a laser up on the other wall, which is our datum, and get the right level across here, because in line with me, we're going to have a 2-block drop down, because this is going to be the main level, then we're going to drop down as the drive slopes. So we don't want this huge wall right up here, we want that drop down to about there, turning the corner to finish here. So I'm just going to get the level of this first piece of rebar and then drop it down by 40 centimetres for 2 block heights. Can't be that high. There we go.
What's that reading?
So that... oh yeah, I've got it marked on here anyway. So that is 13... 13.7 minus 16, which is the height of the laser to the bottom. So that's 12.656. Yeah, I've got it marked here. So 12.6 is the top of the wall here. And then we've got to decide where these 2 blocks are going to go down. Plus 1.2 meters plus the length of the drill. So let's go, I put it in around there, so that's 14, so it's going to be 1.34. For the long rebar, we'll go in line with that manhole over there. So wherever this one goes, I'm going to put this one as a long rebar. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at 134. Just going to cut one as a template.
Another trip to the quarry, just me and my cheeky little sausages. There they are, Floki and Freya. They've come with me this time.
Next next phase is put these in the hole without this squirting out everywhere. I know you probably think I'm lazy using this Ryobi gun, but since doing this building job my knuckles have seized up. It's like I've got full-on arthritis and it is quite sore. If anybody's got any good tips of how to get rid of it or alleviate it, I'd welcome it. Oh, it would have probably been a lot more professional if I'd have tied these verticals into the horizontal rebar in the base, but it is so hard to get the spacing right that we find this way is a little bit better, or not better, but amateurish and easy. Right, so they're all set in. Only got a couple of these, so I'll put them at strategic points, and then we've got loads of them at home. Not that people hopefully will be able to fall on them. I'll put one there. Right, so I'm going to leave those just to set off a little bit. Most of them are set. It was just the first one that needs a bit more time because it was the first out of the tube. Julie's just got another ton of sand only this time because we're going to make mortar. We don't need a lot of mortar because we're only mortaring the base blocks here and the other side, but I'll use the rest of the sand when I dig out this conduit, or for this conduit just here, to chuck on top of the conduit, and then I'll probably cover that with a little bit of sand and cement after that. But right, so the next stage is mortar. Just looking at the sky there. We could be all right, but I might leave that for now.
Morning everybody, it's the next day. Change of plans. The weather, it's holding off, the rain hasn't materialised, so we've decided to risk everything. And we're making a start on cementing in the first course of the block work. Wish us luck. This rain, we've checked the weather forecast, we hope we're good. Right, here goes.
If you look here, there is a little groove, and then this one here will sit into it, but this was a lot fatter than this groove, and then there's no actual groove on the inside of this, so I just trimmed that one off. So hopefully that will coincide with it. I think it will. Hopefully the felt tip, the marker, won't blow away like the pencil line did. We didn't film much of this just because it's pretty stressful. So I'm just finishing off pointing. It doesn't really need pointing, but just tidying up because I've got a little bit too much mortar that I made up. But we just wanted to get this one row in because we can't do anything more until this goes off. It's because we've got to lay the second row on top, and then that carries on along the other form. So even though it was threatening raining, it looks okay. So we're hoping this will go off tonight, and then we can go about setting the other rebar and the next row. So it's worth risking the weather reports, I think. Oh, well, we managed to get the blocks done, as Julie just showed you. We've just covered them all up in case it does rain. Well, it is, it's going to rain.
It's damp, it feels damp.
But that's a good finish to that part of the project. So, a lot more retaining walls to come, but we're going to mix in lots of other stuff as well to make it a lot more exciting. All right, so as normal,
Julie's cheeky thumbs up. Catch you next week, and don't forget, like and share. And again, thanks everyone for watching, and catch you next week from the Pyrenees.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye for now.